Hey everyone, thank you guys so much for joining me today. I am your host Toby Yang and welcome to the Toby and Talk podcast. Today's episode is going to be more of an introduction of who I am, and then I'm going to start answering questions that some of you guys asked. If you guys did not know, I did recently post on my story for you guys to ask me questions, and a few of you guys actually commented under, and so I will get to those in a bit. But today I'm just going to be talking about who I am and what I do, just so that you guys can get an insight of what this podcast truly is. So as you guys can see from the title, my title is called Who Am I? Answering questions, and then Toby and Talk. So Toby is my name, and you guys may be wondering, why is it called Talk? Is he trying to be quirky? Well, a little bit. Just kidding. No, but I think with Talk, it's just majority of course, me talking to you guys, but it's also connecting with other people as well. I did put in here, if you guys did not see my Instagram post on my podcasting Instagram page, I did say with my podcast being called Toby and Talk, I wanted to connect with many people and share my story and my struggles for those who are currently in the same boat as me. So a lot of the things that I'm going to say, I'm going to keep with the other episodes, but as a teenager, it is kind of the most craziest things ever. Teenager, preteen, any age, but I feel like being a teenager, it's one of the most weirdest years of your life because you're trying to find out who you are and what you want to do, and you're trying to figure out, yeah, just basically who you are, right? And so we kind of go through this phase in our lives where it's just like a crazy mental crisis. And so with that being said, I wanted to create this podcast because I am a teenager myself. I wanted to connect with other people around my age and just kind of see like who they are and what are they struggling with, and just kind of give them advice, right? So if you're currently struggling, just know that you are not alone, and this podcast is a safe space for you. But yes, soon enough, I would like to bring people onto this podcast, and so that they could share their story and who they are and what they've been through, and you know, we're just gonna get to a lot of things. But yeah, a little bit about me. My name is Toby Yang. I am 17 years old. Fun fact, because a lot of people actually do not believe me when I tell them I am 17. So yes, guys, I am 17 years old and I am currently a graduating senior this year. So I am in a current program. It's an independent study program, so I get to graduate early. And yeah, I will be graduating pretty soon and I cannot wait. And then I'm going to be off to college. As you guys could probably see from my last name, I am also Hmong, Hmong or Hmoob. And so on this podcast, you might expect some Hmong people, you might expect some Hmong talks, Hmong conversations, any of that. But, obviously I want this to be just an open space and talk about mental health and other cool topics. And so, yeah, I cannot wait for that. I am also a born and raised Christian. I've been a Christian my whole entire life, but it wasn't until 2022 that I started to actually build a relationship with God and start my journey with Jesus. And from there moving forward, I have built such a great community within the church and outside of church, and I'm just very blessed. I am also a singer and songwriter. So if you guys did not know yet, I'm actually a singer. I'm not famous just yet, but I do a little bit of performances here and there, and I also have my own channel just based on music. So if you go on YouTube and you just look up Toby Yang, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there, and I think the most popular song right now is Ning Jong E. It is gonna say Ching Chi Tao Kan Ya, but Ning Jong E definitely has more likes. And so if you guys haven't checked out my music channel, I highly recommend that you guys do. I do have two original releases, two singles being called Empty Prayers and Don't Wait on Me. And I will tell you guys what those songs mean. So, Empty Prayers is a song about my life, half of my life. Because, okay, so during that time, during that period when I was writing Empty Prayers, I was actually going through a lot of depression. And I was just kind of in a phase of my life where I didn't really have the passion to want to be alive no more. And so, you know, before that year started, so I released that song in May, I believe. No, June. June 1st? It was either May 1st or June 1st. I released that song, and before that year happened, so that was just 2025. In 2024, December, I did go through something. Um, it had to involve it had to involve like attempt, you know? And, from there moving forward, I was just in a dark state of my life where I was just like, dude, I cannot risk like leaving my friends, leaving my family. And, a couple people told me at the time, like, if you end it, that's kind of selfish. And I'm like, you're right, But I just had to learn how to value the little things in my life and just kind of appreciate things more. I feel like at the time I didn't really have the idea of, "Oh, I need to appreciate the small things, and I need to appreciate my friends whenever my friends give me advice," because a lot of the times before, everything that they tell me will go one ear out the other, and I just wanted to do me. But I think after I broke that part of my life and I started to listen to my friends more, and I started to, of course, listen to podcasts and kind of discover who I truly am inside, I feel like that's what really helped me. And so I told my friend that I wanted to write a song about what happened. And we talked about it, she agreed to it, and that's how Empty Prayers came to be. Um, a little insight of the chorus is, so I'll open this jar of pills. Little did you know that the words you said kills, right? And it just kind of talks about kind of what I did. Disclaimer, I do not encourage you guys to do it at all. If you guys do, there's a phone number, which I will put on screen right now. So please, guys, seek help. Your life matters and you matter, and love yourself. Please love yourself. But anyways, yeah, that song, it's heartbreaking. It's a pretty heartbreaking song, but yeah, it's just how I felt at the time. And I'm moving on to Don't Wait on Me, which was released on January 15th of this year. My almighty. I wrote that song because my friend at the time was kind of going through something. My friend at the time was kind of going through something, and I wanted to write something. Even me, I was kind of going through problems at the time. And I was like, what not better than to write a song? And so I kind of combined my story and my friend's story together and wrote Don't Wait on Me. Of course, that song is up for interpretation. If you find that as a sad song, then that's a sad song. If you find it as a happy song, then that's a happy song. If you find it as a boring song, let it be a boring song. But yeah, that song was based on, I guess, breaking up and kind of just letting them go and moving on. Just basically moving on and being a bright person, I guess. As you could tell from the music video, it's a pretty positive vibe. Um, yeah, I'm jumping around, I'm falling, I'm singing, I'm screaming. Yeah, it's honestly a good jam. So please go listen to it and let me know what you think. Aside from being a singer and songwriter, I am also a leader in my church. I have been serving in my church ministry for this is my third year. So this is going to be my third year of serving in a youth ministry. And from being in that leadership team, oh my gosh, like I have grown so much as a person. It has kept me disciplined. It has made me connect with so many awesome people in my life. And it has also opened so many doors for me to come to God in so many ways, because at the time I was like, nah, I don't think I qualify for it. But God has gave me the opportunity to want to open up to being a leader and open up to a lot of people, which is why I am where I am now. Because before I was never confident. I could tell you guys right now, I am 10 times more confident. And yeah, God has just done so many things in my life, and I cannot wait to share that on my platform here as well. Now, backtracking just a little bit about me being 17. Y'all may not believe me once again, but yes, I am 17 years old. I am turning 18 in August. Um, it's actually kind of crazy that people do not believe that I'm 17. They're like, dude, you look older. I've also been called 26, which is kind of bizarre because I'm like, do I really look 26? But I guess it's because the way I act. A lot of people say, wow, you're so mature for your age. And I'm like, wow, really? I feel like I'm a pretty bubbly person and kind of loud at sometimes, but I could see why they think I'm older. But yeah, I'm gonna be graduating high school in actually this month. I'm gonna be done with school this month and then walking the stage in May and then starting off college. I'm gonna be starting my first 2 years at a community college, and then after that I'm gonna be transferring to a university, which I'm so excited for. Um but yeah. I would like to say that I'm also a content creator, but yeah, I'm a content creator. A small one. I do a little bit of content on TikTok, so if you haven't seen my TikTok, I be posting the most weirdest things. It's either me trying some vegan chicken nuggets, me eating papaya salad, me eating balut, just me being the typical person that I am. Um, and I've also connected with so many people through that as well. Like I've met up with so many Hmong influencers. Like, dude, the amount of Hmong influencers who know me, it's actually like I've never thought in a million years of my life that I would actually be able to connect with the people that I was fans of. And yeah, it's actually pretty cool. So if you're watching this, I love you. Thank you for supporting me. I am also a son. I'm just kidding. So I have 4 siblings. I am the youngest kid. I'm the youngest of 5. So there's an old one, there's a kind of old one, then there's a mildly old one, and then there's a somewhat young but old, and then there's the youngest, which is me. And if my siblings are watching this, welcome to my podcast. 2 of my siblings actually have some kids. They are the most joyful parts of my life. Honestly, they bring me so much joy having those kids around, and it kind of gives me the experience of being a dad. And you guys know what? I've always wanted to be a dad. And I just love kids in general. I think kids are honestly really cute. And so being with my nephews and my nieces, they're a handful, but they're honestly really so cool to take care of. And again, it kind of just, yes, like I said, gives me the experience of being a dad. Does that sound weird, guys? Does that sound weird? Well, being an uncle, but it's also kind of like you changing their diapers. You're kind of you is kind of like their dad, basically. So, yeah. Oh, and I'm also based in California. Um, I've also been told a couple times they were like, "Are you from Minnesota? Are you from Wisconsin?" I'm like, "No, I am definitely from California. Born and raised here in California." But surprisingly, I have not explored the whole entire California state, which I actually really want to do in the future. I want to explore California and see what California is really like. I've only ever been in my city. But yeah, I think California so far is really cool. I really enjoy the parts where I visited. My favorite part is surprisingly Lake Tahoe. Lake Tahoe is honestly such a beautiful sight to see, and being in that lake, though it's so cold, it's honestly such a vibe to be in that lake. It feels like an ocean. Even though I've never been in the middle of the ocean, I think an ocean feels like that. Sorry if I sound like I'm rushing on today's podcast. I don't want today to be too long because it's just an introduction of who I am, and progressively as the episodes go on, you guys will get to know who I am deeply. So I'm saving those moments for next time. Okay, now we are going to be moving on to our questions. Today we have 6 questions, and so we will get to the first one. The first one says, "What is the hardest part about being a believer in Christ in this generation?" So it's, well, I wouldn't say it's hard because everybody has a different perspective of their relationship with God. But honestly, personally, for me, it's just simply going out there and talking about God and praying for people. I think before it wasn't a big struggle, but now that I'm older, I do not know why, but it's just gotten harder to pray for people and to simply talk to people about God, especially forgiving people. Dude, forgiveness is honestly such it's a very hard thing to do, and I know that we are called to forgive as well, but honestly, when it comes to forgiving, sometimes I cannot forgive people, and it's really hard for me to push myself to forgive one person. But I think as time goes by and I start to reflect and I start to pray more and more, I think I start to find that forgiveness in myself and just want to forgive them. Because I know when you forgive them, it lifts off 1,000 weights off your back. Like, why do you want to carry the weight? Just forgive them. Not It's not easy. I'm not saying that it's easy to forgive them, but over time you will learn to forgive them, and bricks and weights will just get lifted off your back, and so that you don't have to constantly have to worry about them. But yeah, that is the hardest part about being a Christian for me. Now for well, in this generation, um I think it's just a lot of us get influenced, we get influenced by the bad things, and we also get influenced by the good things. Sometimes the good things could secretly be a bad thing in disguise, and um, we're human. Our little brains, we can't really comprehend certain things, and sometimes we just fall short. And that's a normal thing. That's a normal human thing that we do. It's our human nature. And with that being said, I think it's just simply coming back to God and repentance and seeing Him as your Heavenly Father once again. And yeah, being in your word more. I think that's also something that I really need to start doing, is being in my word more. I feel like I struggled with that a lot recently. And yeah, but thank you for your question. This next question is, if you created a song that describes your life, what title and why? Now, earlier I talked about empty prayers, so I think that's a little idea of my life. Um, Kind of going back on the topic of it, like, if you created a song that describes your life, yeah, empty prayers. Why? Is because I guess it's just more of to spread awareness. I feel like a lot of, like I said, teenagers, we go through a lot of things, and I want my songs to spread awareness, not really focusing on the sad parts, which obviously empty prayers, you guys can see I focused a lot on the sad parts, but because that was the only way that I wanted to express myself, and with that song, it helped me a lot, and, you know, but sorry, I don't really have an answer for this question because I think I answered it earlier basically with empty prayers. But thank you so much for this question, and I hope you like the song. The third question is, what is your perspective on love? Well, my perspective on love, here's the thing is, love could be the best thing that has happened in your life, and love could be the worst thing that has happened in your life. Personally for me right now, I am not in love, but from the times I have been in love, it has been pretty good experience, and it was a cool experience as well. Um, you guys don't know yet, but I'm currently writing a song about love, and I will kind of give you guys a little bit of hints right now. It's okay. So, when you fall in love with someone, your heart just it beats so fast. Your heart is just rushing with blood, and it's still and it feels like your heart is going to explode, right? And so with my song, I kind of wanted to be on a perspective of a soda can. So make the soda can as your heart. You shake it, it's bubbling, and once you open it, it explodes. So metaphorically, that is our heart. And it's like when you fall in love with someone, all you want to do is just you want to love them, and so your heart explodes tremendously, covering them with love. And so I think love is such a beautiful thing, and my perspective on love is just it's beautiful. It's literally it's a nice feeling to have. But yeah, I really think, but we should also be careful when falling in love, because sometimes we can fall in love with the people that do not give you the real love that you deserve. But yeah, just about love, like I have a couple friends who are in love, and I asked them about their experiences, and they are so in love. They're so in love to a point where you could just say their name and they turn red. That is literally. Do I even need to explain it? But anyways, yeah, my perspective on love is it's just simply beautiful, and I love to see when people fall in love. It brings a smile on my face. Okay, and now this fourth question is, who's someone you wish you had more time with? That's a pretty deep question, and thank you for the question. Oh, by the way, for the other questions, thank you guys so much for asking these questions. Um, I did tell you guys that if you guys do not want me to say your names, please tell me. But with this fourth question, just for cautious reasons, I will not say your name, but thank you so much for asking. Thanks for asking this question. So, to answer your question, I would say my grandma. I think I lost my grandma at such a young age. And at the time, I did have a lot of memories with her. I think I was one of her favorites. um, but I feel like being a boy at such a young age and witnessing her slowly leave us was definitely a really hard thing to do. And even as a young boy, I was like, dang, I wish I really had more time with grandma and to live more moments with her. I feel like she passed away so suddenly, and we didn't even know. We didn't even know that she was going to pass away. But then that day, she just passed away and went to heaven. I was like, wow, it's a bittersweet thing because I know God was calling her, but I feel like I wish I had more time with her because the rest of my siblings, they had a little bit more time with her. They were able to experience my grandma at the age that I am right now. But I feel like since I no longer have her, it's kind of gotten a little bit harder. But I think after the years gone by, it's gone pretty easy. It's gotten pretty easier. Thank God that I still have my other grandparents. My grandma and grandpa is still here with me, so thank God for that. And I'm trying to live every moment with them as much as I can. But yeah, I really do wish that I spent more time with my other grandma. And I think remembering majority of the things. Yes, I was a young boy. For me, she passed away when I was 11, and I honestly wish I did spend more time with her. But you know, I do believe in things happening for a reason, and I'm glad that she's okay now. So yeah, thank you so much for that question, though. The fifth one is, do you like Elite? I don't know them. I am so sorry. I I don't know this. Can I look it up? Is it a group? Elite, elite. It is a name, or it is a K. It is a group. It's a K-pop group. I do not know them, but I think I should start listening to them. You put me on. Thank you so much. I think I would like them. So thank you for that question. We are going to be going on a quick break before I answer this last question. So I'll see you guys later. And we are back. So this last question, it says, what do you think is the difference between love and lust? And how do you know that you are in love with someone? Good question. And thank you to Madison for asking this. So to answer your first question, what do you think is the difference between love and lust? Um, I feel like you just care about that person as a whole and not just their looks, because people are humans, but they have such big personalities, and there's so many things to love about rather than just loving the way they look. And so I feel like that's very important to think about when you are falling in love, because if it's about lust, all you want to do is have sexual desires and you just love them for the way they look. It could be their body, it could be their face, it could just, be those type of things. And with love, I also believe that you have a sense of peace and connection with them. And by peace and connection, like when you talk to this person, you have such comfort with them and you are open to them and you are not afraid to just simply speak how you feel, or you're not afraid to just simply tell them the bad parts of your life and just tell them about your day. And having a connection with them, whether it's an emotional connection or just simply a connection, like if you have an emotional connection with them, I feel like that's much more stronger because the person that you are in love with is able to help reassure you and help you with your problems. Of course, they cannot help with 100% of your problems, but I think that they're able to help you with some of the problems. And so, yeah, I also think with love is also about being patient and being committed. If you are patient with that person, my almighty, good job. Patience is really a hard thing to do. Sometimes people don't have patience. And if you have patience with this person, it's honestly 10 times better. And being committed. If you are committed with this person, that's going to be your future husband or wife. Now, moving down to lust, right? I feel like lust is more of an attraction rather than, the first one, how I said, how you just love them as a whole. This is more of like attraction, like, oh, I love your face or I love your body. And you just have that sexual desire in them and you focus more on their physical appearance rather than their core. You also kind of have a sense of obsession with them and you kind of have a sense of urgency with them. And of course, that's going to happen in relationships, but I feel like having that as the core of your relationship is not very healthy. And so stick to love, guys. Stick to love. And another thing is also going back to the whole connection thing is when you don't focus much on your connection with each other. Like when you guys see each other, all you guys want to do is just, oh, let me touch you or let me do this, like sort of vibes. But I feel like when you have that connection, like the love connection, it makes a relationship so much healthier. But if you have a different connection, like you have less focus on who you guys love and you guys just want them just because of the way they look, that's a no. So again, like I feel like love is more of a connection, commitment, and care, while lust is basically attraction, desire, and an intensity. Like you just want to be intimate. Look at me in the eyes. Intimate. But yeah, that is all of the questions that I have today. Thank you guys so much for asking the questions. And if you guys want a chance to ask questions as well, make sure to go on my Instagram. I have a main all of them will be in the description, okay? So go to the description if you want to see both of my Instagram page. One of them is my podcasting page and another one is my main page. Both of the question answering thingies will be in there. So if you have a question or you want me to know something, please let me know. This is a safe space and feel free to be an open book. And if you made it this far, thank you guys so much for making it this far. And I'm so excited to bring some guests onto this podcast as well. But yes, thank you guys so much for listening to Toby and Talk, and I will see you guys on the next episode. Bye.